Fearless Pioneer.
Yo, what is going on, guys? EJ here with another Lord of the Rings Rise to War video. Today, guys, I got some huge updates for you. I've been away for a little while. I've had a lot going on, but we're getting back into it. I've got a huge server update. We're going to be showing you everything that's been happening and where the server is looking at the moment. I've also caught up a lot because I fell behind a lot when I was sick and stuff like that, and I was away, but I've made some huge progress now, so I'm going to show you all my progression I've made on all my commanders and that. I'm very happy with where I'm sitting at the moment. I've got some awesome PvP action with you, for you guys, sorry. And yeah, and we're going to be checking it all out. I've got lots of reports of many different commanders, and I'm using a lot of evil units in that. As you will see, I've fallen in love with the evil units. They're so OP and so good. I'm loving Gandalf the Grey this season. He is so good. But yeah, I'm going to be showing you some like insane like whale battles and stuff like that. So yeah, let's get into it. So first off, let's have a look at the map and see what everything's been going on. So as you can see, it is quite evenly nice at the moment. There was a lot of changes since the last time you've probably seen. So we started off in the Mordor realm and we've pushed up into some of these realms here. I don't mind if you see where my forts and that are. But basically, we've pushed up into the Entwash area and stuff like that. We've had pretty good diplomatic with our, what do we call it, our bordering neighbors. So basically, we've got Dino or Jurassic Park down here, who are dinosaur. And then we've got another teams up here. I forget who they're called again, because I haven't really seen too much. UTTP, that's right. But they're basically been fighting in that as well. But I'll just talk you through what's been happening. So we had really big battles with IRSS, which were doing really good. They used to own all these lands down here, all Gondor and that. And then they were really focusing fighting us in these areas, if we zoom in a bit. So in the Wold, for example, and then into the Fold, they used to have Edoras and everything like that. We pushed down and did a lot of fighting against them. And while we were fighting against them, Jurassic Park, aka Dino and Saw, took the advantage and pushed through and took all of these lands. Now, when they took here, which I can't remember what it's called, Dol Amroth, I believe, they lost their ability to have their kingdom. So they lost that, so that all these lands came neutral. And then that's when we all came in and took these lands. And IRSS, sorry, have now retaken the a kingdom up here in Isengard. And you can see they've got some lands now. But they're in a little bit of trouble. This used to be like owned by Drum and Home, who have been absolutely destroyed. We tried to come through. They used to own most of these lands here and let us come through. But now they're pretty much non-existent. They are still fighting a little bit. You will see some Drum and Home, but they don't have a kingdom at the moment. I really do hope they can take over and beat IRSS here. But they do have help from Dino now, who is pushing in and fighting IRSS and Mora in that area. So you can see there's a lot of battle pins and stuff like that. I was doing a lot of battling down in these areas, but the pins are kind of gone. Now, the other big one up here, we'll just quickly get this out the way. So, Sand has been like the kind of a smaller one as well. They have been fighting against UTP and only up here. They seem to be holding this ground not too bad, but they used to own most of these lands here, but they did lose it pretty quickly. And these two, the big battles that have been clashing here, but no land has been taken or lost really. Between Chaos and that, you can see some participants of 28.7 million and nearly 10 million deaths there on these pins. But as you can see, Chaos are starting to push in a bit now against UTTP and only. And they were slowly pushing up towards here, but I think that they may have pushed back a little bit again. So let's go back to this, these crossings and stuff. This is where the action was before. So that's not there. That's not the one. I think it's this crossing down here. Sorry. I just can't get to it properly because of this bloody map here. We'll just go here and we'll scroll across. It's just down here, but you'll see all the forts. So there was a lot of fighting here before. But yeah, it looks like they're starting to push back again, as you can see. So yeah, they've just been battling on and off for crazy the whole time. And there's been no really huge advances there whatsoever. As well as UTTP and that are fighting up on this front a little bit as well. I do feel like if they weren't battling Chaos at the moment, they could just completely swamp Sand and take all of this as well. But Chaos has pretty much just been focusing on UTTP and that at the moment. They haven't really been fighting any of the other neighboring fights at the moment. So yeah, Chaos and IRSS and that have been getting along pretty good. There's no problems with them. And ourselves have had pretty good diplomatic situations with Jurassic Park and UTTP and that up here. So that's basically what's been happening with the map. A lot of the battling is in these central areas. The ring is currently surrounded by Chaos, but I don't think they're going to be taking it yet, because I think there's going to be an all-out crazy war for that later on, so we'll have to keep an eye out for that. But that's basically what's been happening on the map, guys. My personal progression has gone really good, so my commanders since last time you'll see have been going really nicely. So I now have Isildur up to level 49. I've done some gear changes to him, which has a lot of men defense on it, for example. And then Gandalf the Grey is my absolute favorite. I've got some of my best gear on him at the moment, and he's doing absolute fantastic, as you will see in some PvP action soon with reports. Gandalf the White's been doing fantastic as well. I made some changes to him and put on the fire helm, and that was really good. He seems to be doing really good against Witch Kings now. My Gil-galad, I've just started leveling him up, and he's doing quite well as well. Galadriel, I've even got a couple, I think, reports of her, but I've mostly just been using her for tiles and stuff at the moment. She's not the best at the moment, but yeah, I do have plans of maybe throwing some Mumakil on her and trying them out. And don't mind this helm, that's just there at the moment. I'll probably switch that around when between commanders, because I don't have enough gear to fully gear. Aragorn, King of Men, I decided to switch it up and put the focus on here. And for the build, I've got him in a build which is going to do good against Sauron, because Sauron's so good at the moment, and all those focus damage and that. So I'm trying to level him up a bit. Still haven't been able to get a cleave, but we'll see how we go. But yeah, this helm is just there at the moment because it's on there, but I do make gear changes in that as well. We then have Faramir as well. He's doing alright, need to level him up a bit more. And the big one that I'm going to be working on later is Gimli. I'm starting to level him up. He was respect like 1 at the start of this season, or I think it was a little bit before in last season. I started leveling him up and stuff like that. So yeah, he's going to be coming into play as well. I'm going to be trying out some troop combinations and that with him. And then, I don't know, I've got these guys. I've just been leveling them up a little bit. May do something with them later on. So that's basically what's been happening. Alright, so we're going to go now. I'm going to show you some PvP reports. I'm going to scroll all the way down to some of the older ones and then work my way back up. There'll be some good results, bad results and stuff. You'll see some of the troop combinations that I've been using. So yeah, let's go look at that, shall we? Rightio guys, so I'm not going to scroll too far back, but this is when my Gandalf the Grey was way back at level 43. I bumped into a level 50 Witch King, and as you can see, it was quite nicely geared. Not the highest respect, but still pretty good, like got agi and stuff like that. If we have a look at the breakdown, you can see the damage. After my healing, I took a little bit more damage, but overall, against a 7 level difference, I think I did fantastically there against Captain Seno's 50 Witch King. We have another draw up here, which we versed a level 48 Sauron, which our Gandalf at the time was at level 44. You will see the troop combinations that I'm using, as well as you'll see the troop amounts change from time to time when I get more cluey on what I think's better. But this is still not a bad result against the Sauron. But yeah, Sauron's been causing a lot of problems for me. Then you can see I bumped into another Sauron here, and then I just had a victory where I just finished off a little one just there. Now this is the big one that I wanted to show you guys, which you would have seen in the thumbnail. So this is my level 47 Isildur, which I had set up with tier 2 in that. This sunind as well had anti-mounted, as well as, of course, we know all the Obelisk. Was level 50, I was level 47. But if I show you the gear, this is one of the most insane gearing I've ever seen. So I had full-on Frenzy, we had Ranger's Shroud with Poison Focus and stuff like that, full Agi, and full Blitz with Initiative. So this is an insane whaled one, and as you can see, we absolutely completely shredded it. And yeah, I wanted to put that one in the thumbnail because I was pretty happy with that, because Isildur is Sunid's Bane. And then I think I went into a draw, which was, I got pretty walloped here because I was like, I think like well under like 100,000 damage there, but still didn't do too bad there. Then I had this little weird troop setup here, which I had, I was using the Swan Knights on Isildur as well, with some keepers in that, and I got a pretty nice result here against this level 48 all gold Sauron here. So I was out leveled a little bit, but all in all, as you can see, I took 200,000 to his about 280,000 damage there, so quite nice indeed. Here's another one again, Sauron. He was a little bit damaged at the time, but he had OBs, and I thought it was quite interesting. I'd versed him before, that's his gear and everything. He's got critical care pipe and stuff like that, but my Gandalf the Grey did quite nicely there because the fire damage absolutely finished off the rest of his OBs. This was a quite interesting result. I had my level 44 Gil here, which was his gearing at the time, and all of his skilling. So basically I had it so that I had a lot of focus reduction, even though I didn't even know I was bumping into Sauron. But a level 50 Sauron here with 385,000, I think it was a tiny bit damage, but we know the gear because it's the same one from Urban again. I think this was when we were porting his base at the time, and yeah, got a pretty nice result there. So here's one where Grima, he's quite strong, so we'll have a look at this Grima. So I wasn't quite in the winning range here, but I show win, loss, draw, whatever. So as you can see, it still wasn't too bad. Like after healing about 180,000, and he took about 150,000, so it was pretty decent. But yeah, Grima is a very strong boy. At the time, I didn't have Agi on for the madness. I think I would have done a lot better if that was the case. But now I do have Agius on him, which you will see in some further results in just a moment. So here we have Gandalf the White in action. So the troop combination I've been running with him is the Swans for protection. You'll notice that I'm using the War Drummers on him and Gandalf the Grey because this inspiration here, which gives next damage dealt by all allies plus 16%, is fantastic for the Reapers and for the Alchemist on Gandalf the Grey. So as you can see, we versed this level 46 Witch King, and we did quite nicely here. After our healing of nearly 30,000, we take about 69,000 damage and dealing nearly 257,000 damage and almost completely one-shotting that Witch King there, which was very nice. Looks like he might be a YouTuber as well. So this was my first result with King Aragorn, which I was pretty happy because Sauron was causing a lot of trouble for me in a lot of battles. Like Sauron would absolutely destroy my Isildur on that, for example. At the time, you can see I switched over and put the focus protection on. I didn't have the best helm in that at the moment. And I've made a couple of changes to his skilling from, as you can see here. But it definitely made an absolute difference, and I did quite well in this battle, as you can see. So I took 231,000. He did do some healing, so I only took about 190,000 damage there. But overall, I was pretty happy with that, including that I was 3 levels lower at the time. So this battle I wanted to show you here. So this Gimli absolutely destroyed my Gil-galad here, as you can see. I did get a little bit of damage on him, which was very nice because it took a lot of his swans out. But then I had this good backup one where my level 48 Gandalf was able to basically near finish him off. I'm pretty happy with this result at the time. I usually run around about 600 to 1,000 of these guys, sometimes 500. But as you can see, it was a very strong, very high respected Gimli, so I was still pretty happy with that result that I got there. And yeah guys, so that's an update of the server, some PvP and stuff like that. I'm currently just working on leveling up my commanders, and at the moment things are a bit quiet. And yeah, we'll have to see in which direction the server's going to change soon. Who's going to collide with who, because I think some big battles and some big changes are coming pretty soon. Well anyway guys, I'm going to wrap it up there, and until next time, peace out, EJ's out, and I'll catch you guys later. See yas. Songs of the EJU.